Hello guys, welcome back to the channel The Techie Guy, and today we are solving some questions for DCA, and this time this questions will be based on OOPS. Okay, so we are trying to do one question from Java OOPS hands-on and one question from Python hands-on. Okay, so this will make our question good, and you are you have an experience of OOPS question. Okay, and if you are preparing for DC or IPA, you can check it out our playlist. Okay, and we have some of the questions, like we have a DCA playlist here, so all the questions from this playlist have from that PDF. You can check it out. Okay, and all these questions are in Python. Okay, so now let's see. I have sent it one question here, so this one. So I am opening this question. So the question stands: create a class inventory with below attributes. So we have to make one class as inventory with some below attributes, which are inventory ID, type of string. Next is maximum quantity. Third attribute is current quantity, and fourth is threshold. Okay, so now what we are going to do first, this types of questions also come in your IP. Okay, so what you have to do first. Okay, so as they are suggesting us the question, as we are reading question, we are try to solve. So first they said create a class inventory with some attributes, so we are just going to solve these questions with some attributes. Okay, so now I had just created a main function here, and after that just I'm creating one class which is inventory. Okay, and now here first thing is some string type of parameter, and let's check it out what were the, yeah. Okay, now this and this we have. So first is inventory ID, then we have maximum quantity, and third is current quantity. So let's do this. This is inventory ID, so I am writing it as full, and you also try to write as full. Second is some quantity, so let's check which quantity it is: maximum quantity, current quantity, and threshold. So int maximum quantity, another integer is current quantity, and third one is int threshold. Okay, now what you have to do after this, so we all know after this, by the way, all these elements are private. Okay, so for executing this we have to generate one constructor. So I am using constructor direct function here, selecting this all, and this gives me a pretty good constructor. Okay, and right now we also need some getters and setters. So generate getters and setters, select all. Okay, and we are done with this also. Okay, so we have our all the things which is pretty required for that, and let's sure assume this something. So we have done our classes and all the things. So we have inventory ID and right get, and we have done with this thing. Yeah, so coming back to the question, now we have to implement a solution class with main method, and we have to implement some static methods in the solution class. Okay, so for this, let's see, this method will take an int parameter named limit along with the other parameters as an array of inventory objects. Okay, so what happened is here we have to make one static method which name is rep- replenish. Okay, so the spelling was difficult, so let's make this method. I don't know the return type of this method, so let's make this method as void. So just coming here and making this method as void. So static void replenish. Okay, and this is taking one int parameter which is limit and array of inventory objects. So I am making inventory objects array here. So this is correct, but I had to remove this key. Okay, so now, yeah, so now what we are going to do here, we are just going to answer or read our question to solve this problem as soon as we can. So let's jump to the question. And this method will take an int parameter name limit with the other parameters as array. This method will return array of inventory where the threshold attribute is less than or equal to the int parameter passed. Okay, so we have to return an array where this threshold attribute is less than or equal to the parameter. Okay, so this method should be called from the main method and display id of the return object along with the fling status. So what we have to store in the return array attributes a threshold value which is less than to that int parameter. So first make this thing. So here we have to send one inventory array. Okay, so return type will be this. And now I am making one more thing, inventory array. So it is going to be refined is equal to new inventory of size 0, and we are using our, let's use for each loop. So we are using inventory and what we say this current in ARR. Okay, so this seems much corrected version of this code. Now we are checking if current dot get threshold is less than equal to limit, then we are going to refine our array. Means refined is equal to arrays dot copy of function, arrays dot copy of refined comma refined dot length plus 1. Okay, and here what we are going to do, refined at refined dot length minus 1 equal to current. Okay, this thing we are going to do, and we are going to return from here. What we are going to return here from here, we are going to return from here refined. Okay, now coming back to the question, and this thing we have done. Okay, less than or equal to the this method should be called from the main method and display the id of the return object along with the fling status. If the threshold value is greater than or equal to 75, then it should print critical filling as filling status. Okay, now we have to print the id of the returned object. Okay, so now for this I am going to use the, okay, so for this I am going to use, first of all, let's make our main function here. So first of all we had to use a scanner. So I'm writing a scanner here. Okay, now making one array of inventory, and its child size should be 4. Using for loop is yeah, so inside our for loop we are going to take our input as first input is our string, so we are using a string. Next three inputs is our integer, and we are using integer, and we are also using sc dot next line here. Okay, remember whenever you are taking the integer input or double or float, then you are supposed to use next line. Okay, then we are using again this and sc dot next line, and then int d sc dot next int, and then we are going to use sc dot next line. Okay, so these are the things, and right after there what we are doing, we are just entering this is equal to new inventory, and inside this we have to enter a comma b comma c comma d. Okay, and after this we have to take another input which is limit is equal to, and sc dot next int. Right now we are calling this replace method and just making one inventory array which is result. Okay, and right now calling this and passing this first our limit, then passing our array to it. Okay, and now this will give you a result. Okay, and we are using for each loop here, let's say. So for inventory, and here we can give it res in result. Okay, so this seems me perfect. And now what this function is going to do, this function inside is going to just print this out. Or wait a minute, we can just check first of all if condition, then we are going to print. Okay, so let's first of all just print the rest dot inventory id. Okay, okay, yeah. So why we are getting printing this directly, since we are using our getter setters. Okay, and we don't tend to make these elements at private, so we can use according to our situation. Okay, so get inventory id is a method, so we are calling by this. Okay, now just coming to the question and checking here, look, if the threshold is greater than or equal to 75, it should print critical filling as filling status. Okay, and if it means if it is greater than equal to 75, critical filling. If the threshold is between 74 to 50, then moderate filling. Critical filling, moderate filling. Okay, so just going. Okay, so critical and moderate filling is the answer. So if it is, if res dot get threshold is greater than or equal to 75. Okay, then what we are supposed to print, we are supposed to print here critical filling. Okay, else if, and we have to pass the condition else if res dot get, res dot get threshold uh is greater than equal to 50, and res dot get threshold less than equal to 74, then we have to print, I think, moderate filling, right? So moderate filling, and other than that, we are what we are going to print. Let's check it out. Yeah, so and if this both are not the case, then we are going to print non-critical filling. Okay, so coming inside this else and system dot out dot not critical filling. Okay, so these are the input we have to print, and now let's check it out, the input for this. So this is the input output for the code. Okay, so these four are the values. Let me show you with the marker. So these four are the values of the objects, like these four, this four, this four, and then this four, and this is our limit. Okay, and we have to now check the input. Okay, and input and output is like this. Okay, so what we are doing wrong here, first of all, if our answer is giving the answer like this. Okay, and I think we have to sort it also, so just let's once again read the question and check it out. So yeah, so this method will take an integer parameter named the limit along with the other parameters as history of inventory object. This method should return array of inventory where the threshold attributes is less than or equal to. This method should be called from the main method and display the ID of the returned object along with filling status. And this condition we have before calling the method replenishing in the main method uses scanner object to read four values of four inventory object, referring the values in the read, then read the values for limit parameter. Next, call the replenishes and display the result. Okay, but let's see here. This method will take an int parameter named along with the string other parameter. This method will return array of inventory where the threshold attribute is less than or equal to the int parameter passed. Okay, so here is nothing shown here for sorting or anything else. Okay, if it is greater than and equal to 75, we have printing critical filling. Otherwise, then we are, if it is between 74 to 50, then we are printing moderate. Otherwise, we are printing non-critical. Okay, and we have to print in an order like this. Okay, so these should two lines will be printed simultaneously. Okay, so now what the thing I am going to do here, we are not using system.out.println here. Okay, so since it will give us a new line and a space as well, so I'm not using it here. We are only getting to print it. Okay, so I hope you understand. And let's run this code. Before running it, these are the inputs which I have already copied here so that we didn't have to make troubleshoot. So I just copied this input and now I am going to run this code. Okay, so running, and let's see if this code is giving any error or not. But hopefully we didn't get any error. So yeah, okay. So why we didn't get any output? Maybe I just have copied the wrong input or maybe in a wrong way. So yeah, so this should be good. Right now, let's run this again. Okay, so we run it now entering. Okay, so it is coming like this: 1, 3, 4, and non-critical filling as a status. Non-critical filling, not critical filling. So we are just maybe wrong with this, or if restart threshold frequency. Okay, yeah, so I just changed some of the things here. So let's name this, I have named this as AI. Okay, and just changed, I have changed this condition. Okay, so we are checking first less than, then it is 50. Okay, now going to run this, and let's see. So, okay, now I'm printing. Okay, now we are getting our answer. First non-critical filling, third non-critical filling, and fourth is non-critical filling. I will show you once again what we are doing here. So, we are just doing here the naming here. Okay, new inventory and just checking this, making, returning it from. Okay, and here the attribute we are taking as AI. Okay, uh, then we are just nothing doing, just I have changed the reference variable to AI, and here we are checking first was less than 74 and then less than 250. Okay, nothing serious, this code is same as it is. Okay, and one thing is must sure, if you are using this you should be make this attributes as private. Okay, since but we are using getters and setters here, so I think no problem. Hope you like the video. Okay, and we have the input outputs, so let's merge them in this code. Okay, so these are the input output. Okay, and we are ending this video right here. If you have any doubts you can ask on this Techie Guy channel and follow the playlist which have given to you. So okay, bye, see you in the next video.